Let's start on page 10. The third one on there on page 10. No, the second one. No, page. I had the wrong pages, so give me the pages in my book. Page 7. Page 7. Page 7, number 2. Heart's delight, source of mercy. Yedid nefesh. Don't worry about it. There's transliterations are there, so we're all going to sing together. You can just continue singing Yadadai the way we were just singing. That's why we started that way. Yedid nefesh, beloved of my soul. It's the theme of Kabbalat Shabbat. Yedid nefesh avachaman, Yedid nefesh avachaman, meshochav dach, el retzonecha, meshochav decha, Irararainaina el retzonecha, Yarutz avdecha kemoyal, Yishtachav el mul, Irararainaina el mul adarecha, Yarutz avdecha kemoyal, Yishtachav el mul, Yarararainaina el mul adarecha. Back to the beginning. Yedid nefesh avachaman, Yedid nefesh avachaman, meshochav decha, el retzonecha, meshochav decha, Yinananainaina el retzonecha. That's what we're doing in Kabbalat Shabbat. Meshoch avdecha el retzonecha. I'm not looking at the actual translation. It's in the translation there too, but can be translated in different ways. Draw your servant to your will, right? How do we attach ourselves? You know what? Afterwards, ask me all the questions. Right now, we're just going to flow through. I love questions, but how do we align ourselves, right? How do we align ourselves with Shabbat? How we take ourselves out of the busy week and all the details. Don't ask me how many details there were today getting here. For me, I'm sure there were for you too. But we're here now, and how do we settle in and draw close? Those who were in my Kabbalah class, right? We talked about the attraction between the lover and the beloved within the divine in Kabbalah, right? That there's that holiness that's with us all the time. Always. There's always holiness if we just tune into it, right? But when we tune into it, we actually draw more holiness into ourselves and into the world. And that's our project for Shabbat. So page 8. There's some Psalms here. I think I've done this tune once or twice. It's a tune for the first paragraph there of Psalm 95. And then it goes into a niggin, right? A Yedidai tune. And the idea is that during that Yadidai tune, you're either sitting back and just sitting Yadidai tune, or you're reading the psalm. So we're going to sing the first paragraph on page 8, and then Yadidai for a little while, and then we're going to actually go into Psalm 96 and sing the last paragraph on page 9, which people who've been going to synagogue, for the last few decades might find that tune more familiar. So page 8. Shalom Aleichem is good. I finished the service with Shalom Aleichem. Yeah. Lechu neranena l'Adonai Nariya letzur yisheinu nekadma fanav betodah Bizmirot Nariya lo anarainaina Yananainaina 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 Yananainaino Yananainaino Yananainaina By now you know it, right? Last paragraph on page 9. Let the heavens be glad and the earth too. Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Yiramayam, 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 umlo'o. Yiramayam, 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 umlo'o. Yiramayam, 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 umlo'o. Yiramayam, 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 umlo'o. Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, betagel haaretz. Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, betagel haaretz. Joyful singing. Let's go back to the contemplative mood on page 12. And again, you could sing along, light a diet. We're just going to sing the first 2 lines. Sing praises to Adonai with the kino, whatever instrument that was. Zamru l'Adonai bechino, bechino vekol zimra. Zamru l'Adonai bechino, bechino vekol zimra. Zamru l'Adonai bechino, bechino vekol zimra. Zamru l'Adonai bechino, בכינו, בכינו וכל זמרה. Bottom of page 13. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו אל ההר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו אל ההר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו אל הר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו אל הר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו אל הר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו אל ההר קודשו. All right, page 14, 15. This is our psalm. This is like the ramping up to the Chadodi, where we greet the Sabbath bride coming in. Notice, we haven't lit the candles yet. I was trying to decide where to do it. Yeah, let's sing this, and then we'll light the candles, because we'll light the candles right before coming there. I'm going to give you the tune first, so sing along with the Yadadai. Adonai b'nei elim, habu l'Adonai kavod va'oz, habu l'Adonai kevod shemo, ishtachavu l'Adonai behadrat kodesh, kol Adonai al hamayim, el hakavod hirim Adonai al mayim rabim, kol Adonai ba'koach, kol Adonai behadar, kol Adonai shover arazim vayishaper Adonai et arzei halvanon. This is where we repeat. Et arzei halvanon vayar kidem kemo egel, Levanon vesirion kemo ben re'emim. Top of page 15. Kol Adonai chotzev lavot esh, kol Adonai yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, kol Adonai yecholel hayalot vayechesof ye'arot uvehechalo kulo omer kavod, Adonai למבול ישב, וישב אדוני מלך לעולם, אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום, את עמו בשלום. ירדאי די 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 די, ירדאי די די די, ירדאי די 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 די, ירדאי די 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 די. that, I'd like to invite Rosemarie and Liz, if you'd like to come up too, to light the candles. Do you have the little card of the blessing? Do you want me to find it for you? You know.
It's a surprise, I know, but I do know it.
Excellent. I never make assumptions one way or another. Right now is Shabbat candle blessing. While they're fighting with that, I don't know if everybody knows that the reason we're honoring these people in particular is because Liz and Rosemarie have been married for many years, but they haven't had a proper wedding. So they're going to have a wedding on Sunday, and we're very excited, so we're honoring them, but we can't, these are just...
She's getting
Mike has already run off to get ahead of you. Because if she were stayed here, I could give you a blessing now. That's okay. Do you want to just do the blessing downstairs? I'd be happy to do that. Yeah, why don't we do that? I'm going to teach a new tune. Oh, you got it? There's Liz. Did you cross path with Liz on your ways down? Or did you go down one stairs while she came? You went up one stairs while she went down the other one. Now she's down there looking for it. Yeah. You just try to turn off that, you know. And then we'll be waiting for you, and it's just like, it's like the adventure, the movies, and don't split up the party, I'll go this way and I'll go that way. Oh, no, that's gonna get interesting, right? This is a tune for Lecha Dodi, and I'm just gonna yada-dai it, so when we're done with this, we can sing it. Yada-dai, dan-dai, yada-dai, dan-dai, yada-dai, 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 all right, now you're going to light it. You're each going to light one candle. Rosemarie's going to say the blessings. This is real magic here, by the way. As soon as the blessing is said, it is Shabbat. Yeah. Yes, for us. For us who are here present for the blessing, as soon as the blessing is said, it's Shabbat. Amen. Page 16, Lecha Dodi. Thank you. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yaradai, 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 ne Shabbat, ne kabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yaradai, 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 ne Shabbat, ne kabela. Shamo vezachor bedibur echad, Yishmi'anu elam yuchad, Adonai echad, Ushemo echad, Leshemul tiferet lelitila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yaradai, 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 ne Shabbat, ne kabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yaradai, 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 ne Shabbat, ne kabela. Verse 2, Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha. Sorry, we did verse 2, all right. We're going to top of the next page, page 17, verse 5, right? No, verse we haven't done. I get confused with the layout here. Verse 2, Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, ינני ינני ינני, בני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, ינני ינני ינני, בני שבת נקבלה. Verse 5. התעוררי, התעוררי, קומי ואורך, קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, ינני, 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 בני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, ינני, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. We rise. Last verse, verse 9. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, ירדי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, ירדי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. Turn around, have a seat. See if I can find my pick that I dropped earlier. There it is. Shabbat has come in, right? The room feels different. The world feels different. Page 22, Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat, a song, a psalm for Shabbat. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלינה, ולעלי היגיון בכינור. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. And where the lines indent a little bit, Tzadik katamar yifrach, the righteous bloom like a date palm. Tzadik katamar yifrach, ke'erez balvanon yizkeh shetulim bevet Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu od yenuvun beseva deshenim veronanim iyu lehagid ki yasha Adonai tzuri tzuri velo avlatavo. here's where we're going to, from here we continue to page 24. So all that was warm up, getting ready for the real prayers. And a little warm up just to lead us into this Baruch Hu. Is this little thing that's not in here, but the words are very simple. And those of you who've been here on Friday nights already know it, so you can sing it nice and loud and everybody else can join. You can do a lot of it like a call and response. Baruch Hu, dear one, Shekhinah, holy name. When I call on the light of my soul, I come home. That's it. Baruch Hu, dear one, Shekhinah, Shekhinah, holy name, holy name. When I call on the light of my soul, I come home. Try some harmonies. Choose a note. If that one doesn't work, sing the note right next to it. That one will. Baruch Hu, dear one, dear Shekhinah, Shekhinah, holy name, holy name. When I call on the light of my soul, I come home. Please rise as you are able. Page 24, call and response. Baruch Hu et Adonai Mevorach. Baruch Adonai Mevorach leolam vaed. You can have a sit down. I'm reading page 27 on the top. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and seasons glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. I'm just going to start 5 lines up from the bottom in the Hebrew. On the right, 6. Umavir yom umevih layla, umavdil ben yom uven layla, Adonai tzavaot shemo, el chai v'kayam, tamid imloch aleinu leolam va'ed, baruch atah Adonai amari v'aravim. Page 28. Everlasting love you offered your people, Israel. In the Hebrew. Ahavat olam bet Israel amchavta Torah u'mitzvot u'kimu mishpatim otanu limadeta al ken Adonai Eloheinu בשוכבנו וקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ואורך ימינו והם נעמם בלילה לומם בלילה ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני Ohev Amo Yisrael. It's customary to close our eyes for the Shema on the following page, just for the first sentence, to have all our attention on this idea of God being one. And also we close our eyes because the first word is Shema here. So I'd like you to invite you all to make sure that you can hear your own voice as well as all the other voices of people you're praying with in community. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Page 32, let's chant the first verse, the first paragraph there of the Havta, and then I'll have Beth come up and read us an English response to the final paragraph, which is not in full in our prayer book on the evening service, but is in this week's Torah portion. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. This parasha includes the passage that tells us to wear the fringes on our talit. And here's a response to that paragraph by Janet Birkenfeld, and then we'll come back and sing the end of the paragraph, which is on second paragraph on page 32.
And God said to us, Israel, speak with one another. Take action from my thoughts and give voice to the longings of my heart. Choose ways to fashion my laws and to obey them. And in doing so, let yourselves draw closer to your source. Gather up some things that remind me of you, things that speak of the earth and the sky, solid and shimmering, light and sand and blue air, perhaps the reeds moving in the wind, a bird's feather and a small polished stone, white narcissus with blue hyacinth. Whatever these things may be, agree upon them, choose them together, and be one people. Love me, observe my commandments, and be holy. I am your God. I have brought you out of Egypt again and again. Seek to know me. I am your God.
Thank you. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Page 36. What follows this passage about our commitment to have reminders of God in the world, right? That ties into what I was saying at the beginning about how divinity is always there if we tap into it, but if we tap into it, that makes us aware and draws more into the world, right? That mitzvot, that engaging with the tradition, the promise is that that brings redemption. And so on page 36, we have the quintessential moment of redemption, which was the crossing of the sea out of slavery in Egypt. And these words which the Israelites sang, "Who is like you, a God among the gods who are worshipped?" Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, norati lo tosef ele, malchutecha reuvanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze eli anu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed, ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Page 38, I almost forgot, because usually we do services here in the morning. In the morning we go from that prayer right into the Amidah, but in the evening we have this extra very, very sweet blessing. After we talk about collective redemption, we have a blessing asking for personal protection. Spread over us your sukkah, your canopy of peace. It's the third line in the Hebrew. And that's all we'll sing, unless if you want to sing the rest of it, you can recite it to yourself while we sing this line. Ufros aleinu sukkot, sukkot shelomecha. Ufros aleinu sukkot, sukkot shelomecha. The last three lines, Baruch atah Adonai, הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. Please rise in body or in spirit. On page 40 we have the proof text for Shabbat. People of Israel kept the Shabbat. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. We remain standing on page 1. Turn to page 130. and we will have our personal prayers. We'll begin the first three blessings together. And this time, of course, we are following the directions for our Friday night service. So if you've come here on Saturday mornings, already have an autopilot path through that choose your own adventure, well, it's going to be a little bit different today. For those people not used to this prayer book yet, on the right side, generally on the right side, you have the Hebrew and the translation of the Hebrew, and generally on the left side, except for when you can tell the directions are a little bit different, you'll have some commentary response to that, but it's the same blessing. So you choose one or the other, move on to the next one. You're welcome to just choose one that speaks to you. You're welcome to not use the words in the book at all, but just take a few moments in silent meditation when we get to that. But as I said before, we're going to begin together on page 130 for a prayer for the ability to pray. Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi agit tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Vekoneh HaKol Vezocher Chasdei Avot ve'imahot Umevi Geula Livnei Vneihem Leman Shemo Be'ava Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah Ata Gibor Leolam Adonai Mechaye HaKol Ata Rav Lehoshia Morid Hatal Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Verofech Olim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishene Afar Michamocha Baal Gevurot Umidomelach Melech Memit Umechayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman ata lehachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol. There's no collective Kedusha, so we continue on to page 152, I believe, each in our own way. on page 152, the bottom of the page. I believe your page looks the same as mine. Oseh Shalom, you'll notice some of you might have noticed that there's a phrase there that we don't usually sing. And I don't usually sing, actually I love singing it, and I would like to sing it. Just want to throw people who know the tune. After it says, the second to last line there, after it says, Ve'al kol Yisrael, it says, Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, means on all those who dwell on earth. Make peace. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Ve'imru amen. There we go. One of these days I'll get a proper guitar stand. That's a cello stand. All right. I want to share a few words with you, and I also have a song I want to share. It's been a tough week for those of us who pay a lot of attention to what's going on in Israel. I don't know how many of you have like Facebook friends in Israel, or because I know I do, and I've been seeing a lot of, it had been just at night, every night, several times a night, there'd be missiles coming from Iran. And then it's in the middle of the day. You can't go out without making sure that you're close to somewhere where you can dodge into a reinforced space. And these aren't the homemade rockets that come out of the Gaza Strip. These are not even the rockets, the more significant rockets that Hezbollah sends from Lebanon. These aren't even the Scuds that Saddam Hussein sent in 1991. These missiles have destroyed blocks, right? Thank God people who have managed to make it to the reinforced buildings, whether it's a collective shelter in the basement or even a reinforced room in there in the apartment, generally managed to generally survive. But not everybody has access to those. And certainly Arab Israelis, Bedouin, don't, and in generally poorer and underinvested areas tend to not have those. And a lot of Israelis are being hurt, being killed. And I've got a Facebook friend of mine posted pictures that her son drew. It was beautiful pictures. There's a picture of his sister. There was a picture. It was a canary in a coal mine. It was like black, and there was a little bird inside, and above out there was a missile. Right? Because that's the reality that this kid is growing up in. And a friend of another friend who lives in the U.S. but has a lot of connection in Israel, shared an article about that aspect of the situation, along with prayers for people in Israel. And a mutual friend of ours replied saying, how can you just say that without addressing the responsibility Israel actually has for the fact that this is happening, right? This was a preemptive strike. This was, a choice that the Israeli government made to get involved in this war. Now, you can have different opinions. I like to say they're different valid opinions, but he took her to task on that. And I think it's important to have our opinions on these kinds of things. I certainly have my own carefully considered opinions. I also know that my own carefully considered opinions I have at later dates sometimes revised. I was very, I could put my cards on the table. I'm very pro-peace. I was distressed by the first Gulf War, which seemed to be intentional. I was depressed. I was a kid in Israel during the Lebanon War. I was distressed about that. And then I did a whole bunch of research and found out that, in my opinion, the Oslo Peace Accords wouldn't have happened without both those wars happening, right? So we can have opinions and we can have discussions and arguments about that, and I think that's healthy and I think that's important. I do find myself along those lines, as I was trying to look at the Parsha and say, like, what do I talk about? And it's like, I'm not going to talk about the Parsha. I'm going to talk about this. And when I got to this point in my thinking, I realized, oh, that's right there, right? You have the 12 spies in this Parsha, right? The 12 spies, they go into the land to check the land out, to see what's the quality of the land we're going into, and also is it well defended, things like that, right? They came back unanimously, said it's a wonderful land compared to the wilderness. I'm sure it was. But only 2, Joshua and Caleb, said, and we can do this, right? And the other 10 said, we can't. There's too strong for us. And, I'm sure that they were being honest. And they were doing the best they could, right? But the results of their decision were disastrous. Because the result of their decision was that they said, that they said this, and then the people said, like, why are we going to go and die in a war? We might as well die in the wilderness. And God said, okay, fine, you can die in the wilderness. And that entire generation, by the way, that's why they were in the wilderness for 40 years. They spent a year at Sinai. They spent a year getting ready to go in, and then they couldn't go in, so they spent 38 years wandering around in the wilderness, waiting for that generation to die off. It was a completely disastrous choice, right? They actually changed their mind, and then they tried to go and rush up, and that was even worse. So it's not just what you do, it's how you do, when you do, right? So as I said, I think that asking those questions is important. But when my friend posted on Facebook prayers for her family and loved ones in Israel, I don't think every statement, and this is why I don't post on Facebook very much these days, I don't think every statement we make can have every qualification and every angle. There is a time to say the things that you want to say, different aspects. Everything has many facets. We're looking at this facet right now. When we say the Mishaberach blessings, prayers for people who are ill, which we'll do in a few minutes, we have a list of names. There's specific people that we know, that members of our community know, who we are saying healing prayers for. Now, it's very common, and I sometimes do put in at the end of the list, and all who are suffering, and all who need healing, because we want to send healing to everybody, right? And we include that. And when I think of my friends and family in Israel and worry about them, I do actually also think about the people in Iran. And I certainly do think about the people in Gaza, right? And what I think is the right thing to do, and And my ability to have both rational thought, that's one facet, and compassion for all peoples, that's another facet. All of that doesn't remove, I think, from the importance of saying prayers and caring for those who are near us in a particular way. And let's put it this way. We have those feelings and we acknowledge them, I think. And I think that those kinds of human connections of community are important and even essential for all of us. And that, but I do say, that's why I did add that line, Vel kol yoshvei tevel. And when I say, the maker of peace in heaven, make peace on us and all of Israel, do like to add, and after that, and everyone who dwells on earth. Because I think both thoughts belong together. There is a prayer that I have been feeling missing in our prayers. I know some of you may have heard it. This became quite common after October 7th here. He's going to pass this a whole bunch of them. And along with adding Al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, prayers for all who dwell on earth, I would like to add this prayer to probably end up with our prayer for Israel. Can be a bit hard to sing. It goes up kind of high. Has anybody seen this before? Anybody here know this song? Let's read the English together for a moment. Our brothers, the whole house of Israel, who are given over to trouble or captivity, whether they abide on the sea or on the dry land, may the all-present have mercy upon them and bring them forth from trouble to expansiveness, from darkness to light, from subjugation to redemption, now, speedily, and at near time. Let's see, I think I want a pick for this. Achenu kol bet Yisrael, Achenu kol bet Yisrael, Antunim betzara, betzara uveshivya, ha'omdim ben bayam uven bayabasha. Let's pick this up. Achenu kol bet Yisrael, Achenu kol bet Yisrael. We have that one more time. Achenu kol bet Yisrael, Achenu kol bet Yisrael, Hanetunim betzara, betzara uveshivya, ha'omdim ben bayam uven bayabasha. Let's try that again. Hanetunim betzara, betzara uveshivya, ha'omdim ben bayam uven bayabasha. Whole thing. Achenu kol bet Yisrael, Achenu kol bet Yisrael, Hanetunim betzara, betzara uvashivya, ha'omdim ben bayam uven bayabasha. Part 2. Hamakom yerachem, yerachem, alem veyotziem mitzara, lirvacha, me'afala uleora, mishi'abud legeula, hashta bagala uvizman karim. Try that again. Hamakom yerachem, yerachem, alem veyotziem mitzara, lirvacha, me'afela mileora, mishi'abud legeula, hashta Bagala uvizman karib. So the whole thing together. Achenu kol bet Israel. Achenu kol bet Israel. הנתונים בצרה ובשביה, העומדים בין בים ובין ביבשה. אחינו כל בית ישראל, אחינו כל בית ישראל, הנתונים בצרה ובשביה, העומדים בין בים ובין ביבשה. המקום ירחם עליהם ויוציאם מצרה לרווחה, מאפלה לאורה, משעבוד לגאולה השתה, בגלה ובזמן קריב. המקום ירחם עליהם ויוציאם מצרה לרווחה, מאפלה לאורה, משעבוד לגאולה השתה, בגלה ובזמן קריב. Having sung that, I'd like to go on and sing Mishaberach, a prayer for people in need of healing. It's on page 175 in your books. Get all of my pages here. I see a long Mishaberach list as evidence of a connected community. So it's the second and third paragraphs, the Hebrew and the English, and we'll read the list I have in between the paragraphs. And if you have any names that weren't on the list, please add them as I look, my eyes sweep past you. Folks at home, hello. It's the first time I've acknowledged you. But anybody who's at home in live in real time, please put any names that you'd like to put in the chat, and Mia will read them when we get to the time. Mishaberach avotenu mekor habracha le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Some of the people we're sending healing thoughts to today, this Shabbat: Joyce Fox, Wendy Kleinfaller, Roy Liederman, Roysalea Batrivka, Judy Freed, Arvine Peckman, Janet Press, Jordan Montero, Jackson Schwartz, Ethel Beckman, Judith Laro, Jason Moda, Lisa Bullman, David Gay, Robert Goldstein, Nadia Dafav, Lisa Diaz, LZ Diaz, Paula McDonald, Patricia Boyle, Mary McKenzie, Bill McKenzie, Sora Batlea, Chavadina Batsora, Jean Matulski, Shunville Batlabel Vikela, Judy Ackerman, Aaron Curry, Barry Maltese, Steve Fahey, Levana Yael bat Avraham Avinu v'Sarai Imenu. John Raymond and family. Rivka Pearl bat Chana. Matt Siegel, Gabrielle Maya, Elliot Becker. Sholem Meir ben Beryl Vester, Samantha Modest. Sima Bela bat Esther, Elishira Yosefa Bakotul Avigail bat Ari. Razel Liba bat Rachel, Yisrael Yaakov ben Shmuel Meira, Ken Perry, Shelley Sherman Taylor, Herbert Hill, Stacy Taylor, Gail Schottner, Bill Walker, Carol Ann and Phil Soder, Susan and Paul Steinberg, Lois and Frank Barrow, Peg Smith, Margaret Moroff. מקור הברכה לאבותינו. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. I think maybe I want to keep the guitar on. What are we going to do next? I think we've said a prayer for Israel, but is anybody who'd like to come and share a prayer for our community, a prayer for our country? We have specific text in a page 180 that we tend to read here in our community. Would you? When you've been coming here a few weeks, we'll invite you up. A few months, or something like that. I have it up, yeah. But this is for our country, and here's for our congregation, so whichever you want.
Source of all being, may the children of this community learn these passions from us. Love of Torah, devotion and prayer, and support of the needy. May we guide with integrity, and may our leadership be in your service. May those who teach and nourish us be blessed with satisfaction. And may we appreciate their time and their devotion. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom and understanding, and may our efforts bring fulfillment and joy.
ברוך אתה אדוני, שאותך לבדך ביראה נעבוד. Yeshua, you know, she'd like to come. Stacy. Oh. Choose one of the two blessings, two paragraphs on page 180 to read. Either that one or that one.
We can do it together.
That one?
O guardian of liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have, for sharing it with those who are in need. May our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and respect the many ways we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country sound in body and spirit. Amen.
Amen. Thank you both. Shukra. We'll leave that here. So move towards the conclusion of our service with Aleinu on page 282. 187. 187 at the top. Please rise in body and spirit for Aleinu. It's incumbent on us to praise the foundation of all, to declare the greatness of the Creator who stretches the heavens over us and establishes the earth below. This is our God, truly ein od, there is nothing else. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leotzer breshit, shehu note shamayim veyosed aretz, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגובהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 189, the second option there, may we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding, loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom ha'u yeh Adonai echad u'shemo Shemo Echad. We remain standing as we turn to page 193 for the mourner's Kaddish. Similarly, we are thinking this week of relatives of members of our congregation who have passed away at this time of year in the Jewish calendar. Relatives of ours, Helen Boyer, Samuel Boyer, Bertha Altenhouse, Hyman Bloom, Stanley Sloan, Edward Martyr, Benjamin Klebanow, Saul Sultan, Amy Louise Ornstein Osterer, and Deborah Vanderwood Lewis. Are there other names? We take those names along with all those who do not have someone to say Kaddish for them, and we recite on page 193. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol bet Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe shmei Rabba mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהא שלום רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל שבט תבל ואמרו Amen. Do we have announcements? It's summer, folks. And the announcements reflect the fact that it is summer. Oh, solstice is at 10:42 p.m. Yeah, have a seat.
Shabbat
Shalom.
23rd Monday, we have lunch and learn at 12 o'clock. And we have Shabbat services on the 28th at 9:30. And that's all I've got.
And that's all we got. There is, there's going to be another one of these newsletters coming soon with news for July. One of the things I can say for July is that the Queer Torah study is going to be starting up again on Monday afternoons. Lunch and Learn will turn into something that happens on specific dates. I'm looking here. I seem to remember. There we go. That's what this is our regular Torah study, and there's Lunch and Learn. We don't currently have a Parsha of the Week Torah study. I wanted to say Mazel Tov. I wanted to start with birthdays. So I think as a community, it's nice to think also. So people whose birthdays are in the coming week include Meg Antine, Lori McLeod on the 24th, Sarah Peckman, and Jason Tartaglione. So, wonderful. So if you see any of those people, or people related to those people, you can say Mazel Tov to them. And the Costant's anniversary, Sherry and Larry Costant, on the 25th. 21, that's going to be into next week. And Rosemarie and Liz, and we'll say some more blessings for them when you go downstairs. And I promised you Shalom Aleichem, which we're going to turn our pages back to, it's in a very strange place in this book, page 20. Peace to the angels that come and join us for Shabbat. Page 20. Now, this is a great, for people working on learning to read Hebrew, this is a great text because only the two first words of each paragraph change, and otherwise it's the same text, so you get to practice. There's an excellent adult learning how to read Hebrew book that prepares you to read Hebrew by teaching this prayer. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leshalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni leshalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchen leshalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shabbat Shalom. Let's go downstairs for Kiddush. Goodbye to people home.